Oh, we are back. This time it's myself, Mark, aka Chibikawaii. Uh and with me, no longer is it Neon, but we got a Bairdrus. How we doing? How we doing?
Oh, hi, Mark. I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm super excited to get my first shot at casting for the weekend. And we got a great matchup coming up. I'm very sad to see both these players down here in the bottom four, unfortunately. But we got two great players playing two really great decks. Loco Pojo on Huru Flyers, which was I think one of the one-offs of the tournament nobody was expecting at all. And of course, we have Love Up, who is a returning finalist of many things. And he is, I believe it's MSM and season 4, season 3, one of the two.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's done super well, super great guy. And he's up here on TJP midrange, though a very different version of the one he played last time. And yeah, this should be a great matchup.
Yeah, I don't. You seem to enjoy the Pojo's list. I don't know if I don't know how big I am on the Huru Flyers personally.
I definitely like it. Like, it's very creative. The deck, unfortunately, I think could just run into a lot of bad draws, and there are a lot of Sandstorm Titans floating around in the tournament. Now, that being said, if it gets its game plan into place, it can certainly close games out very quickly. You know, it doesn't have the speed of a Skycrag aggro, for example, but the deck is still very fast at closing out the game. So we'll see if it can perform as we are into our first round.
Yeah, and so Love Up going to be able to play out this Awakened student, which should be growing a decent amount. Love Up's curve, not the greatest, a little heavy on the fives, but also definitely not the worst, since the student is going to be growing. Pojo just going ahead and run out a Tinker Overseer. Pojo needs to find some power though. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, Pojo needs to find some power. Looks like he has found that power indeed, though, that it did come into play depleted. So he won't be able to go ahead and drop a Valkyrie Enforcer this turn like he would have liked to. That would have been pretty nice. I mean, not only would it increase his clock, but it silences the Awakened student, and it's not like he doesn't have answers with the Sandstorm Titan. He's rocking 2 Valkyrie Enforcers effect and the Vanquish, so he will definitely be able to take care of this. Probably going to have to commit the Vanquish here, though, in this case, since he's in a bad position to race.
Yeah, that's where my money would be as well. Yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna say, and then we're gonna be able to get Awakened Students can become a 5/5 though. Like that's, and then multiple Sursos are gonna start coming down, and then that crystallizes looming. I'm feeling comfortable about Love Up's position. Personally.
Yeah, I think Love Up is going to definitely lock this first game up here. Pojo has Valkyrie Enforcers. Go ahead and silence away these units, but at the end of the day, it's still 5/5 and a 6/6. So
exactly,
not getting around it. And Pojo's life total is too low here. So looks like we're going to see game 1 wrapped up here within the next turn or two, going in favor of Love Up, of course. So we're going to get a chance to see how these players are going to sideboard.
Yeah, and then I have to imagine Reality Warden is going to be coming down. Oh no, another Sursa is coming down. Okay, I guess just because of the overwhelm. But I mean, like either way, there's crystallizes. I have to imagine crystallizes the play for Love Up next turn, like no matter what. So it really didn't matter what unit he played there, and we are going to see that Love Up taking it. Pojo not hitting power, and unfortunately, when you don't hit power, things don't go the way that you always want them to.
Yeah, he couldn't just get that game plan rolling. And I mean, Love Up had so much pressure from the Awakened student early that it was really hard for Pojo to just climb back into that game. So we will get to see another matchup pre-sideboard, though. I misspoke earlier, as I was reminded. These are best of 5 matches, so sideboarding occurs after game 2. So we will get to see another dry run of those 2 decks, and then we'll get to see some sideboarding. So it's going to come down to really, of course, the starting player or the player starting hands, and we're going to need to see Pojo, I think, play here, and he's really going to be trying to dodge Awakened Student early because Awakened Student just creates such an amount of pressure.
Yeah, and Love Up is on the play, so Pojo getting denied that this go around. Looking at did you see? Is this Love's actual hand?
I believe this is his actual hand. I think this is a very reasonable keep for him.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, this hand is a lot easier for Pojo to break than the last hand. You do still have the Desert Marshal, which will, of course, take down a flyer. But it is possible for Pojo to just suit his guys up and fly over the air. It's not the early pressure of the Awakened Student, and there's no Titan to curve out into 4 right here. So it's not going to be taxing Pojo nearly as much as the last hand. Now, that being said, Pojo doesn't have an answer to Titan at current time if one does get drawn by Love.
Yeah, and this is Love is setting up a decent curve now. They're going to be able to go into Amber Acolyte, into Sandstorm Titan, or potentially Obelisk. I have to imagine you're going to be tightening here, though.
Yeah, and we do see that Love Up had picked up that Titan, and as mentioned earlier, Pojo does not have a way to crack that, so this is going to be a little bit dicey here. He's going to need to draw an answer for it pretty quickly. I imagine, Love Up's just going to run out the Sandstorm Titan. Maybe if he thinks he has some extra time, he can drop the Zenith Obelisk. But against Pojo's Huru Flyers decks, you just always want to be dropping your Titans.
Yeah.
Put them on board.
200%. And fun little interaction with these Eager Owlets. Desert Marshal right now turns both of them off.
Yeah, it does actually. Once it silences one, they'll of course both lose the buffs. So he will be able to take 6 power off the board with a single Desert Marshal. Given that, and he does pass, maybe he's not under a lot of pressure, or he's not feeling, the pressure here. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and so if Pojo's sniffing this out, we're going to see the Valkyrie Enforcer come down. Oh, he's not sniffing it out.
I think this is fine here, though, like Cloud Snake Saddle. It at least makes the unit 3/6 no matter what, and Pojo does have the Protect here, so he's going to be able to keep this up. And now 9 damage is going to crash through. That being said, as long as Love Up drops the Titan down now, Pojo's going to be able to silence it and keep pushing through. So I think Pojo might have actually been able to steal this one away here. That Protect coming.
Yeah. And how do you... I do not like... I guess maybe, because you're probably not trading off for the 6/6 this turn. Anyway, either way, what off the top, what a Crystallize would have been like the only thing that keeps him.
Yeah, I think Crystallize keeps Love Up in the game. There's also not another answer in Pojo's hand for a Sandstorm Titan. So if he had drawn another Sandstorm Titan, he of course would have been able to lock them down and then make some trades off there. But it was not meant to be. Pojo picking up that Valkyrie Enforcer and having that Protect really ends up saving him there. So our players are split at 1 game apiece as we're now going to head to our sideboarding. So let's take a look at our players.
Yeah, I'm trying to... I'm looking here. I don't know. I do not know the Huru Flyers deck well enough to comment on what they want in this matchup. Like, I don't know. Do you want the Vanguards just to try to go faster? It looks like Pojo says yes.
Yeah, I think Vanguard is fine here. Other than that, though, I mean, you're not looking at a lot of things you're particularly excited about bringing in. Like, of course, like Backlashes aren't particularly doing that much because really this whole matchup comes down to Awakened Student on 2 and Sandstorm Titan. There's a possibility that bring in something like maybe like Finest Hour. That way you can push through some more damage as well as also setting up those trades if your units do get grounded on the board. He could surprise Love Up when Love Up tries to block with the Sandstorm Titan into a smaller unit that gets Finest Hour once or twice. That might be a way that he gets through. But other than that, there's not a ton really in the sideboard, I feel like.
I don't know. I'm not big on the Finest Hour plan. But I mean, like, Love Up doesn't have a ton either. I'm looking at like the additional Permafrost and the Rune Hammers, but I don't. Is there anything else you're thinking about bringing in here?
Not too much. Possibly something like Combray Healer, just because it creates a unit on the ground you can attack with, and it gives you a little more health. But I mean, really, Love Up wishes he could just play 4 more Sandstorm Titans because that's really just what locks this match down. So he's going to be relying on that.
To be fair, don't we all? Don't we all
really
just wish we were playing like 8 Sandstorm Titans?
It would certainly make a lot of decks better, I have to say. That being said, though, I think Love Up would likely bring in the Protects in this matchup, just because protecting the Sandstorm Titan does just almost always win him the game outright. There's no other way around it. But besides that, it's very spotty.
I mean, so like, what do you think? Are you bringing in the Permafrost or the Rune Hammers, or are you just bringing in those Protects?
I think it's fine to bring in the Permafrost and the Rune Hammer. Like, I definitely think Permafrost is like questionable, but at the same time, it's like it's not like Pojo's really ever going to be silencing them away. So it's generally speaking a hard lockdown. So I think that's fine. So Permafrost, Protect, and then the Rune Hammers, they're fine. They can come in. I'm sure it's more of a situation of there's a couple cards in this deck that he feels like he can cut. So
yeah, I was about to. That was my next question. Is like, what are you actually cutting from Love Up's list?
Anything that's slower here. So like Scouting Party can immediately come out. There's absolutely no need for it in the matchup. I feel like it just doesn't get enough done. Really, anything that doesn't just stall the game plan or speed your clock up. So Awakened Student's definitely staying in. Desert Marshal's a huge hit here.
Vanquish seems suspect.
Yeah, Vanquish is
like could be good.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Wow.
It depends on how many protects Pojo ends up packing, because it can take care of units that are buffed up by various forms of weapons. But outside of that, most of Pojo's flyers are going to dodge it.
Yeah. And we are in game. Love's got a hell of a hand. Pojo is hurting a little bit more, but this is a thing that we're seeing. We're gonna have an Awakened Student come down this turn, and the next turn, and then we're gonna have 3 Awakened Students.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty brutal if he can get it off quick. Now, that being said, Pojo did pick up a Shelter Wing Rider, which isn't horrible by any stretch. It probably will see that Vanquish, but we also see Pojo, he did bring in the Skyrider Vanguard, so he is going to be trying to push this clock and just outrace Love Up. Will he be able to do it? It's very hard to say here. Love Up definitely has quite a few good defensive tools here.
Yeah, and then next turn we're going to be seeing the Rune Hammer come down. That's going to answer whatever the biggest flyer. I have to imagine is going to go after that Cloud Snake.
Yeah, you do have to take care of the Cloud Snake at some point. It depends on if Pojo just curves out the Shelter Wing Rider here. Now Love Up is in a situation where he kind of just needs to answer the Shelter Wing Rider first. Although the Cloud Snake is very scary. It depends on how he can sequence it into play this turn. So, for example, I believe Love Up could do something like. Actually, I'm not sure how Protect interacts with Aegis. I think if you throw Protect at the Aegis, it should pop it and not reapply it since it prevents it. So he could go something simple like Protect the Shelter Wing Rider and then Vanquish the Wild Cloud Snake. And that's going to create a very fast clock for him, because that puts Pojo on the back foot, and it's good to get that in while Pojo is powered down. That way you're not meeting Protects and Backlashes.
Yeah, and I like that line quite a bit. You get 4 points of damage through and then you're also forcing Pojo to use a Protect on the Shelter Ring Rider, if assuming Pojo has it, so that way maybe something else is going to be able to live through that, or stops it from stopping something a little bit more important. I think Love Up kind of going through, weighing their options here. Whether are they Rune Hammering to get rid of that? But I do like your line. I think your line is the kind of way to go. And then next turn we set up for Surso.
Yeah, I think setting up for Surso is very important here. Like, you just need to speed your clock up, but at the same time, I mean, these Awakened Students are going to start pressuring down pretty fast. Love Up doing something a little bit interesting here. Doesn't fire off the Protect yet. Try and get the damage in. This isn't necessarily bad, though.
Huh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit tricky. I mean, the unit wasn't blocking anyway, but that does slow the clock down. And now the Shelter Wing Rider is going to get through regardless. There's definitely going to be some damage here.
Huh.
Very interesting. I think that's actually likely going to cost Love Up the game. I think he just took too much damage there, and he doesn't have a way to take care of the Shelter Wing Rider now. I think he needed to pop it with the Protect last turn. Like, I think you can afford to have your unit stunned more than you can afford to take an extra 10 damage over 2 turns.
Yeah, missing the not getting the 4 points of damage in last turn kind of is a little suspect. So he can play the Rune Hammer. Rune Hammer doesn't it answers one of the duders, but not another.
Yeah, it's not going to be another. Love Up is going to have to concede here, and Pojo is going to go up in the series 2-1, trying to fight his way out of this this lower pod here to get back to day 3, which of course will be happening next Saturday.
Yeah, prove me wrong, Pojo.
Yeah, he
Prove
really
me
is
wrong.
trying to
Yeah.
right now. Maybe he just needed to get into the best of fives. That's what he was really waiting for. So he's trying to get back into the best of fives.
Like a phoenix rising from the ashes.
Yeah, hopefully here. I mean, we would like to see that out of him. It's definitely would not be the first time we've seen Pojo climb back from some heavy deficits, and some of the players really did climb back. I know people were talking about Sir Rhino. I believe he started out 0-3 yesterday and found himself at the upper end of the bracket by the end of today.
Yeah.
So doing quite well.
And Unearthly started pretty rough, correct? Or am I losing my mind?
No, I think you are correct. I think Unearthly was pretty middle of the pack about halfway through day one, and I do believe he got a solid bid in. So yeah, very impressive out of him. We are in our fourth game, of course. Now Pojo, still not on the play, I believe. So it's a little unfortunate for him, but he does have this Eager Outlet, and he does have some Tinker Overseers to go alongside it.
And I was about to say, I imagine we're going to see a banner. Then the Seek. Now that seat is turned on. This this Desert Marshal is gonna do some things.
Yeah, Desert Marshal's gonna be rocking and rolling here, and we do also see the Permafrost, of course, in Love Up's hand. So he's actually able to lock both the units down here if he wants to try and turn the tide in his favor. That being said, Pojo does have a Shelter Wing Rider as well as a Protect. So if Love Up goes ahead and tries to Permafrost or Desert Marshal one of these two right now, Pojo does have the option to stop it. And I'm curious to see what sequence of play Pojo takes over the next few turns. Since he does have the Protect and the Backlash, it'll be interesting to see if he goes for another Tinker Overseer next turn instead of just playing the Shelter Wing right out and trying to hold up some form of protection at all times. Unit.
Yeah, so from Lovo's perspective, do you just take this hit for 5?
I think you're fine with it in a way. I think he is going to try and go ahead and at least use the Permafrost here to the Eager Outlet. This is going to determine Pojo's kind of next sequence here, so he will go ahead and take care of that. I imagine he's now going to play the Shelter Wing Rider since he already fished the decked out.
Yeah. Well, and so I was about to say, so here do you end up go ahead and getting that Desert Marshal in?
Oh, absolutely.
You have to trade.
Yeah, you trade here and you turn the Eager Outlet off. I mean, that's what's really important here. So interesting that he doesn't trade.
Because the Shelter Wing. Oh, well, Love Up can't see Pojo's hand. All right, okay. I still would have expected a trade there.
Yeah, I still would have definitely expected to trade there. I don't understand really why. The Desert Marshal's obviously now sitting on the ground. He wasn't able to swing with it, so doesn't seem like he wouldn't want to shorten the clock. So a little confused about that one. And now Pojo is representing 8 damage in the air. Now that being said, Love Up can fire back huge on his side.
Yeah, but the Vanquish sitting in Pojo's hand is gonna truncate some of that damage potential from Love Up's side of things. Because
Love Up really needs to find some piece of removal here. I mean, the Shelter Wing Rider has been killing him all game, and the biggest thing we've seen over the last 2 games so far is just lack of Sandstorm Titan. Not seeing the Sandstorm Titan, while Pojo is essentially he did pick up the Vanquish at some point. But for example, if he goes ahead and vanquishes the Sursa right here, and then Love Up draws a Sandstorm Titan, Pojo's not going to have an answer for it, and that's going to be able to lead to a board stall, which will give Love Up plenty of time to draw out.
I agree completely.
Yeah, we just have not seen it up to this point. So in the meantime, Pojo's just pressuring down Love Up, and have to imagine we're going to see this Vanquish coming in here.
Yeah, I'd like to see Vanquish and then the Cloud. Well, do you play Cloud Snake or do you just go ahead and play the other Overseer? Oh.
That's an interesting line. And I guess this is actually fine from Pojo's perspective. I think he's okay with taking the extra 6 damage from Surso this turn if he needs to, just to ensure that a Sandstorm Titan doesn't come down, because I think he realizes that's the only way he's losing the game at this point.
Yeah, but he can't crack back to win here.
He's not setting up to crack back to win. What he's likely going to do here is he's just going to chump block with the Tinker Overseer, and then he knows that he can Vanquish next turn, and he shouldn't have taken enough damage to I think he's just trying to figure out how to navigate without. He needs to ensure that a Sandstorm Titan doesn't come down.
Yeah, but basically he won't be able to. He can't alpha anymore doing by having this happen, right? So like he's gonna have to leave back blockers next turn because he goes down to
He'll still be able to
10.
attack with the same one he's attacking with. Yeah, he's not going to be able to one-shot him, but he will be able to just keep swinging with the Shelter Wing Rider and the Eager Owlet, since he'll have the Cloud Snake, and then he'll also be able to follow up with the Tinker.
Okay, and the Tinker Overseer. Yeah, okay, that was the piece of the puzzle that I was missing. All right. Yeah, because you get in. Do you just swing with the?
I think you just get in.
Yeah.
I mean, you can honestly just get in with the Shelter Wing Rider if you're worried about soaking too much damage.
Yeah.
I think that's fine, but wow, he's going for the very aggressive line. He's basically saying, "Have it or I win," and Love Up doesn't have it, so Pojo is going to win.
Permafrost off the top though would have been just backbreaking. I think that attack was a little.
It was certainly a little bit of a suspect attack, but Pojo is able to stick it out, and Love Up is going to be able to take down that game, or rather, Pojo is going to take down that game and that series. Moving on, where he will play the winner of what will be our next matchup. You want to go ahead and tell us about our next matchup, Mark?
Let me pull it up really quick. Unless you've got.
I do believe it's going to be Moosh versus Kampfkrot.
Yes,
which, of course, on TJP mid-range as well, although definitely a different build than the one we just saw. And Kampfkrot, who is on Burn Queen, unsurprisingly to most people.
Sometimes, when I think of Battletoads, I do think of Burn Queen. That's
certainly, definitely. He's certainly become associated with it in our tournament. But we will take a very, very short break, folks, while we go ahead and get the next match queued up for you. And we will be bringing you that matchup, Moosh versus Kampfkrot, in just a few moments.
Yeah, we'll see you guys then.